access to receive messages of clarity, guidance, and love. As channeler, psychotherapist, and author, Noemi Grace has an intimate dialogue with the divine on your behalf. Lisa Berry, creator of the show Light on Living, will be co-hosting as live callers ask their burning question on self-love, self-healing, deepening relationships, areas of struggle, and next steps. By simply listening in, you're receiving wisdom that will lead to sacred stability from every channeled message that Noemi delivers. Join us now as we give you access to angels and grace. Well, hello there, everyone. We wanted to welcome you on this. I feel like it's going to be a special edition, but it's just because everybody is really needing connection right now. And so, hello, Noemi. I'm so glad you're here today with me.
Oh, I'm glad we're both here today. Yeah, it's such a privilege to be here, and you know, not just a privilege, but it fills me up. And doing this with you and the divine, and there's so much going on in this world, and I loved how we were both exactly thinking the same thing a little bit earlier. That we want the show to be relevant to where people are. You know, we had sort of a vision when we started the show, and it's shifted, and we're going to go with the flow. We're not going to be rigid about our show is this way and not that way. We're going to go with the flow, and we're going to go where people are. So it's really important to us.
Yes, and actually, I love that you said that. We're going to go where people are, and that was. We live in two different countries. I'm in Canada and you're in the U.S. And we remember when we first started talking about this, like, well, what's going on in your world about this? Well, what's going on in my world? What is showing up for each one of us? It was actually rather different. And I'm glad that I was able to, you invited me to explore, saying, oh, well, wait a second. I've got a little bit of a different thing going on. And I was like, oh, well, I've got, and it was, a lot of people are in different places and moving quickly because they need to. It's a high speed movement through what's going on right now.
Although we've been asked to hunker down, in my state we've been asked to work from home. All the restaurants and pubs and all of that are closed, and it's been a stay home unless absolutely necessary. Not quite shelter where you are, but the next step down from that. And it's been, I mean, one thing that I mentioned to you is that I was in Ecuador in the high Andes, and I was having this amazing opening experience. And then I came back and I was completely, oblivious to how the situation was developing in the U.S. and in particular, I live in Massachusetts, which is unfortunately one of these hot spots. And, I was oblivious to the development and came back, and it was kind of overwhelming because I was so opened up, and it took a bit to shift. And I was glad for our Facebook Live last week, which was so helpful to me to channel those messages. And so just mention that for any listeners too. If you haven't listened, the divine was so sweet and loving and powerful there. But yeah, we're the progression in different places is different. And I'm in a place where I live in a place where it's important to take it seriously, and not that other places aren't, but the risk is much higher, and and so recognizing the risk without succumbing to fear, because there was a lot of fear when I came back. It was just surrounded everything about fear.
I heard this really neat thing this morning. Forgive me because I can't remember because I read so much now. Affected, not infected. And a lot of us are affected. And yeah, I love that. And something that I was really, okay, so this is kind of fun for me. But people are asking for ways. So people are asking for support, and they're being creative in the way they're asking for how we can all support each other. And I just want to share two of them because I think they're kind of neat. And And I think that this is going to be like a leftover after all this is going to be a great thing. So one of the things that were showing up, I thought it was a great idea. They're saying, places where we are no longer could, because we're asking to isolate and not be out in public, they're saying, well, those businesses need to survive, so maybe buy a gift certificate from them to support that business still and use it at a later date. And I thought, well, that's a relief. I love buying gift certificates. I love receiving gift certificates. And the other thing is, too, is because everybody's concerned with the health risk, I know that I purchased health supplements that I know could support people in time of stress and low immunity. And that was like a gift that I was able to, have it delivered right to their home. And I thought, well, this is fun. There's a way of showing up and supporting. And I have a question for you, Noemi, about this. You mentioned that a lot of people are asking for prayers. And that's something that we do literally on the show. We're giving access to angels and grace. So I could you share, like, when somebody is asking for prayers, what are they asking for? And yeah, I would love for you to just speak about that.
Well, of course, it depends on the person, but the prayers that I've been seeing on social media, the prayer requests, are very personal, and they're usually support for a family member who's ill, not necessarily with the virus, but ill otherwise, and sometimes for oneself. If I found that there's a lot of people that I know that have been ill with the flu and not the virus, and not that virus, a different virus, and so it's that asking for prayer is a way that people can support you. It's a way to raise the awareness of other people, and to get them to send some beautiful energy and ask for some divine energy to come your way, so that source is already sending the energy, but it's directing that energy. It's a directed energy, and it's a heart-to-heart thing. When I ask for somebody for a prayer for something personal, for me, I'm inviting them into my heart space, and when they tell me, "Oh, how are you? I've been thinking of you," or "How is your father?" That really, it creates a deep connection for me in the heart space. So it's really important that we stop isolating. We've been told to isolate physically, but to not isolate spiritually and emotionally.
And I like that, because right now you made me think of when we say we're inviting you to join us and we're inviting you to listen, what we're saying is we're inviting all of you into our heart space so that we can all together raise the awareness of wellness, of support, of togetherness, of love.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. Raising that, yes, in our heart space, and raising that awareness, and with the messages, the channel messages, or whatever you and I have read and become aware of. So.
And one of those things, actually, which you found, and you fell in love with it, then I fell in love with it, and we said, "Oh, right, we have to have this." But I would love to read the message that came into our lives from your friend, actually, Marie Patrice, and she had posted it. Like, there's a lot of sharing going on Facebook. I just love this. Like, Marie Patrice shared it, then you shared it with me, and then we went back to the person who shared it, which was Tom, and so Tom shared it from the universe, and then we thought where the universe got it was, from Bob Doyle.
Well, actually, Tom, yes, Tom shared it from Mike Dooley, who got it from the universe. Yeah.
Right, Mike Dooley. And so this is a lot of awareness on this particular quote, and I'd love to read it, and then we'll see what comes up from it. But I'll share it with everybody. So it says, this is a quote from the universe. In every home, sitting beside each child, and in the nervous heart of every adult, joyful, radiant, knowing that this unfolding pandemic, like all crises, will ultimately awaken your spirit, rearrange your priorities, draw you together, and inspire an everlasting compassion. I thought that was just, you liked awakening your spirit, and I loved rearranging your priorities. So we were like, "Woo, this stuff's hot."
and then drawing us together, right? To not be isolated in our isolation. And I loved how it ended. Inspire an everlasting compassion, because our society has been diminished sometimes for many people are experiencing a diminished compassion for their struggles from others. So this is an opportunity for us to realize our own humanity, that we are all the same. We are all cut from that same cloth, and we're all humanity. And when one suffers, it does impact the whole.
Yes. And this might be a great spot for you to share your turnaround, how your husband helped you through the toilet paper situation with yourself.
Oh gosh, the toilet paper. I don't know if people can handle one more toilet paper story, but so here I was in Ecuador, and blissfully oblivious. And we came back and we were home for a day, and then we went to New York City, another hot spot, for my niece's wedding. And so not a lot of shopping was done during that time period when I was gone, and my husband just kind of took whatever was in the house and used that. And then when we came back and I looked in the closet, and it's like 4 rolls of toilet paper. Oh no, we're in trouble, And I became obsessed with toilet paper, like everyone else, but in a different, I think, my own individual way of it. But I was looking online and Googling where to find it online. I even went to New Hampshire, which is an hour away from where I live, because they have less infection there. And I thought there's more likely to be on the shelf. And everyone looked so shell-shocked in the 4 stores that I went to. Some people had toilet paper. They had already run out. But everyone looked so shell-shocked, and it was crowded. It was like going to the grocery store, like on, right on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, or Thanksgiving Eve probably. And it was just so the energy was so thick, and I went to the toilet paper aisle, which the paper aisle, and there was nothing there. Walked out and stuff, and then I came home and I was Googling, and I was pretty obsessed with this. And my husband's like, we have really 3-ply tissues, and we have tons of them. You'll be fine. We have the high quality napkins if you have to go to that. We will be fine for a long time. And I was still like, no, I need my toilet paper. And it became, I had to look at it. He says, you should look at this. Why are you so obsessed with this? So I looked at it, and I realized I came back. I had 30 clients, 30 hours of hearing about how the virus is impacting people, among other things, but the stress of finances and fears, and the focus, the obsession of the toilet paper was a way that I could sort of put all of that out of me. Like some people were obsessing over the news, and I was obsessing over getting this toilet paper, and it became this way for me to not have to deal, to not have to feel, what was going on, and the vulnerability. My husband has a heart condition, so, I don't want to be sick, but, my senses, it would not be that huge if I was sick, but, if he was sick, it could be really, really serious. So it's this, place of not wanting to feel all that, how vulnerable we are. And, we're told that we're right at the cusp of age where we're vulnerable now. We're at high risk, and all of that. Didn't want to feel it, and so was obsessed with the toilet paper. And so and then I told my husband, he says, yeah, well, that's what people are doing. They're transferring all the fear of this thing onto the fear of not having enough of something that is so not that all relevant, but it's a way to transfer the fear. And that was really eye-opening for me.
That whole story, I just love, first of all, I love that he asked you that question. Like, he loves you, he cares about you. He's like, okay, there's something deeper. And when you had, we were talking about this here, and then you mentioned the word micro-focusing. And I thought, you know what, this is why we do this show, because
we are hearing messages. We want to place the focus on messages of love, messages of guidance, messages of hope, of clarity, as opposed to what I love that you said. I wrote, not have to deal or feel. I kind of like that. But you were transferring fear, and when there's so much, like you said, I was bombarded. I had 30 hours of it, and I think that's why I'm so glad that we are going to be, you, not me, you're going to be channeling after the commercial, because we don't want you to micro focus on just source's message either. Well, we do. It's not a bad thing, but
that would be if I'm going to micro focus on anything. That would probably be the best choice.
That's the best choice. Yes, best on the menu. But the thing is to stop for a second and say, okay, this fear's getting out of hand. I went the opposite. I totally was. I liked how I'm going to call it blissfully oblivious, and I was doing just quite fine actually.
You were. You're like, everyone's happy. They get to work from home and be with their family. And I'm like, what planet do you live on? Because it's not the same.
I'm on happy planet with my cats. Because the first thing I Googled was, can cats get it? And I went, oh, they're good. I'm safe. In honesty, this is what I'm so glad that happened, because it was a different focus. And we say, okay, so what are the messages that we are now, what would be best for us, our highest self, our, things. So when we do come back after commercial, you're going to be chatting with the divine and really accessing them. What is our best place where's the best place to put our focus on? How can we be supported in when we ask for with these prayers? And how can we lessen that fear and, step into wellness, raise the vibration of wellness together?
I like that last part. That's really, really important.
Right. Well,
raising that vibration of wellness together, spiritually, emotionally, and physically.
Yes. Okay, everybody. So when we come back, we'll have Noemi, Grace, do some channeling.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
The universe is eager to help you and give you clarity. You only need to be willing to ask your burning question and listen to the answer Source wants you to have. As a channeler of divine messages, I take your questions directly to the divine and hear what Source is longing to tell you. I'm Noemi Grace, and my co-host Lisa Berry and I welcome you to join us as a listener or caller on Access to Angels and Grace, 2 Wednesdays a month. Call in, ask your most burning questions, hear the divine's exact words giving you guidance and clarity. Access to Angels and Grace, where messages of joy await you.
Looking for inspiration?
Want to be inspired?
Not sure where to go?
Find Mark and Kim every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Inspired Living.
Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience in all things spiritual.
Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
I'm so glad we're back after that cat commercial. And their girls showed up. Oh, they just do. And that's how magical we are. We do have the connection through technology that we can get connected. And we went to commercial. That the line here was raising the vibration of wellness together. And so I'm so glad that we are here together. Thank you, everybody, for joining Noemi and myself, Lisa. And Noemi, we usually do a reading from your book. However, we're going to be doing a reading from a previously. You share how this came about. Is your channel?
Oh, yeah. So thanks, Lisa. This is a recent, from very recent, March 15th, 2020. Recent channeled message where I was asking, because of my struggle last week in reintegrating myself into what was going on, I had been in such a beautiful vibration in the mountains, and I came back and I felt overwhelmed by the vibration all around me. So I was like, help me, tell me something, tell me something good. So and I just feel so blessed that I can ask that question and get the answer. And can you talk for 1 second?
Sure, yes.
My husband seems to be on the phone. It's very disturbing. Hold on a second.
Oh, there we go. Yes, we can't have the source be interrupted here. No, actually, yes, I will chat away. And I was really happy when
radio show.
We're gonna hear this is live on air. All right, guys. Well, you know what? I think we all need messages at different points, and depends on what's louder at times. We've got people around us can be louder, and people in our, from source can be loud.
The joys of everybody working from home. It's like, do you have to be on a phone call right now? I thought there was this feedback from you talking, but then I realized you weren't talking, and I was hearing the same noise. So it was like, so
yeah, this is another kind of noise when you're not used to channeling, and then you're like, that's not channeling noise.
Well, but it's also what we're many of us are living with right now, is that many people in the house working, children running around. It's like, how do you keep that center and keep what you need for yourself?
Yes, exactly.
So
speaking of meaning for yourself, this is something you asked.
Yes.
For yourself.
So here's something I asked, and I got, this is the time when we can use you for the healing of the world. But to use you for the healing of the world, you must not be in the same mindset, the same vibration as the world around you. Just as on 9/11, you rose above the vibration of fear all around you, now you must too rise above. See the fear and recognize it for what it is, and then respond with love. Be a beacon of light, love, joy, and hope. Make those attributes ones you strive for every day. Not that you must strive, but you must be as aware as the person who strives. They know what they're going after. You go after peace through love, light, joy, and hope. Center yourself in divine love. Every day, receive our love into your heart and let it flow from there to the rest of you and then out to the world. Make this a daily practice of divine love as self-love and love of the world. Through divine love is the antidote to the fear that surrounds you. Dissolve the fear in love, in divine love. This is how you can be of greatest service at this time, to receive our love and fill yourself with it and bathe yourself in it, and then share it with the world. No need to leave your home or the security of your safe place to do this. Simply receive our love and beam it out to the world as a lighthouse beams out light to the world that surrounds it. Rise above through love, in divine love. Rise above. Choose differently from the masses around you. Do not resist the panic, the frenzy. Simply bring love to it and see those caught up in the fear with eyes of love. Be of service through the world, through sharing divine love in stillness and silence in your heart. And that really, really spoke to me, because it was so easy to get caught up and then to be frustrated with with that. Like, why are these people so negative? They're taking me down, kind of a thing, then to be the victim. And I didn't quite go there, but I was heading in that direction of like, and this, we can all feel like we're victims of this, or we can see this as what we learned last week, Lisa, as an opportunity for us to awaken. That's what the divine said last week. So I'm interested to hear what the divine might say this week.
Yes. I like this stillness. It's so weird because when I thought of the word awaken, it's not that we're awakening from the frenzy. We're awakening after the stillness. The stillness has to come first. And then we're awake. Like, we have to go to slumber. We have to go to sleep. Then we can wake up. But if we're in that frenzy, we don't wake up from a frenzy. We wake up from stillness. And so what I really got there was, it is a great time. This is a beautiful time to be more still, to not just rest, but yes. It's not I like that word frenzy. I don't know why. It's just a fun word.
Frenzy. The frenetic frenzy. Frenetic frenzy, yes.
Like these little starbursts, I think. But I think that's the most important thing. So if that's like the bridge, I think. The stillness is a bridge. So we all need just pause. Like, when I imagine me when I was a little crazy kid, and my mother would just go, just stop for a moment. and then she'd calm me down, and then I would be able to move again, but not frenzy-like and not super still. So yeah, I think there's that transitioning that so yes, well, I wonder if we'll see let's let you dive in and just have a conversation with Source, and I think the direction.
What were the questions? You had a couple of points that you shared right before commercial about things you'd like to have answered.
Yeah. So raising, we the one we really like is raising the vibration of wellness together, and also if there's any help to guidance to shift from that, the fear of shortage, the fear of not enough of everything from toilet paper to finances, and the fear of contracting any virus, anything that would eliminate us here, right? That would take us down, and the separation. So just to deal with all of that fear, but to move from fear, the frenzy. Oh my gosh, move from the frenzy of fear to the stillness and awaken into wellness. Whoa!
Oh my goodness!
I like that. Awaken to wellness.
Yes. You and I love language, so that's just sweet. Okay. All right. The divine has heard all of that, and I will just take a couple seconds to go deeper and into that stillness, and so I can really listen. And I will then greet the divine and turn it over to them.
Okay.
Hello, divine. We're so grateful. I am grateful, and I know Lisa is too, and anyone who's listening to be able to receive the messages from you at this time, because we really need your guidance, we need your support, and we know it's always there, but we may not always be hearing, we may not always be listening, we may not always follow what we hear. So in this time, you heard all of Lisa's wonderful words there of what can you help us to make that shift and to raise the vibration together. And I think that's so important. So really interested in hearing what you have to say. We welcome this opportunity to speak with you. We feel your pain. Many of you are empaths. And where did this ability to be an empath come from? It came from us. We are the universal empath. We feel your pain. We feel your suffering. We see your suffering. And we see how much so many of you are hurting. And so many of you are scared. And we are bringing our love to you every day, as Noemi Grace read in our recent conversation that we had together. We are sending our love. We are showering you with our love. Bask in it. Fill in it. Individually, receive our love and share our love with each other. And also recognize the opportunity that's here for humanity to awaken as one collective. There has been so much fracturing going on. It has been of great pain to the Earth Mother, that the Earth herself can feel pain through all of this infighting among your species, the fighting, the differentiating, the blaming, the judging. It must all stop. And with something as hugely affecting as what is going on, you have the opportunity to stop that way of being where you judge yourself, you judge others. This judgment is creating this vibration on your planet that is toxic. It is like a toxic landfill, and you are breathing all of the fumes of that toxic landfill every day. Raise that vibration, and yes, collectively it is so much easier to raise that vibration. If you tried to pick up a piano or a large object by yourself and move it, it would be impossible. But collectively, if you had 12 strong people, you could move it. And so the strength that you have is not an individual strength. It is a strength collectively, it's a strength, a communal strength. And this opportunity, even though you are being told to isolate physically, as Noemi Grace said, it is important to not isolate energetically. It is important to not isolate emotionally and especially spiritually. This is a time of spiritual awakening that is available to all of you. Can you awaken to something deeper and more profound and fulfilling and filling you up than you have known? Whether or not you have that toilet paper or that finances in the same place, and we see and we hear and we feel the fear of finances, and that will recover. But the opportunity here is not just for you to recover, for you to restore yourselves to the truth of who you are, to step into the fullness of who you are, to allow yourself to expand, to choose that expansion, to choose seeing yourself from eyes of love, to see yourself from that higher perspective, how we see you. You are all so capable with the seed of divinity in you and truly remarkable uniqueness, that each one of you has the power to impact the world in a profound way if you were to step fully into the fullness of who you are and share that with yourself and the world. And so using this opportunity as life is slowing down, as you are, many of you, told to stay at home, and your entertainment opportunities are diminished, using this opportunity for connection. Social media is there, and this is a great opportunity to connect there. Call people, talk to people. You still have phones, talk to people. We see that growth away from talking and typing up a few sentences or a few words and hitting send, and connect with people more deeply. People are not rushing from this appointment and that place to another. People are home. People are wanting connection. And it is important, especially when those that you know that may be single and living alone, to reach out to them so that that isolation doesn't become so profound for them and frightening. Reach out to those who may be elderly, that those who may be infirm. Reach out to those who could use your help, because each one of you is an angel of light and a beacon of light on this earth. You are all earth angels. You are all human angels, and you each have that capacity to step into that and impact those around you, and that impact is necessary. You have a profound impact from this pandemic, as you call it, this virus. This organic organism is creating a profound impact on your world so that you all can shift out of that unconscious living and that me first living and into an us living, a caring from the heart, and the ability to have that time to take the opportunity to demonstrate that you care, to reach out, to connect. Many of you are busy 24/7, including you, Noemi Grace. We don't know how you keep that schedule of yours. We are seeing all of you running from one thing to the next. Stop, listen, love, learn, become the truth of who you are deep within, in fullness, and share that with others. Take your conversations and elevate them from how many people have the virus and what this one is doing and what that one is doing and the politicians are doing and are they doing enough for us and all of that. Take that conversation and elevate it to a heart place. I am reaching out to you. I'm thinking of you. I care about you. Is there some way that I can help you? Maybe I can't go to your house. Maybe I can't leave my house. But how can I help you? And if each one of you would have this conversation with one person, it would make a profound impact on your world. It is time to be sharing and caring about humanity and about those that are nearby in your world, close to you and close to your heart. Reach out, connect. Do not concern yourself with the lack. There is so much abundance on your planet that you have no idea. And that abundance can be tapped into at any time. But this organism is here to help you awaken. This is an opportunity to awaken, to choose to live differently, and to choose to love differently, and to choose to share yourself differently, and to choose to know yourself differently, deeper, higher, richer, and truer. And in this way, you elevate wellness and wholeness in your world. We are complete in this moment. Namaste.
Wow. I like, well, let's guess. Oh my gosh, the commercial. Yes. Perfect.
Yeah, wow. Perfect timing. Yeah. You can tell us what you like when we come back.
Yes. I'll digest. I'll be still. Stillness as we go to commercials, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Did you know that you have the power to change anything in your life? Did you know you can do so even with the things that you've already decided are impossible to change? Come join me, Venus Castleberg, on Outside the Impossible as I interview people from around the globe that have literally changed the things they thought were impossible to change just by using the amazing tools of Access Consciousness. Now airing Wednesdays 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Do you dare to believe that anything really is possible?
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 31 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people. Get the facts at beyondido.org. Brought to you by the Gill Foundation and the Ad Council.
Oh, I'm glad we had that time actually, because there was such beauty in that channeling, Noemi. And one thing I of course I'm not surprised, but was really happy. I didn't even get to ask you this question, but I was going to ask you to speak about the word, specifically the collective, and it came up so many times, and I like that it's the collective strength, it's the communal strength, like moving a piano, which that was fun. And what I thought was really interesting, the very first thing that you channeled was about Mother Earth and the pain that she's experiencing from this, and the toxic, and it's like a landfill, and that's why it is so important to raise the vibration together, because we don't want to be breathing in the fumes of the toxicity from what could happen from this.
Yeah, thank you for that reminder. As I've said before, I don't always remember everything, especially sometimes at the beginning. I don't remember I remember the end, but not all of it. So yeah, I was surprised at that metaphor. Never heard them speak in that way. And also, I just love that interaction, that loving consciousness, that loving caring from the divine for the earth, for us.
Yes.
There was. I loved what I remember was I loved that Source is the original empath and the universal empath, and that. So the divine has empathy and compassion for us and the suffering and in the pain, but that this is such a huge opportunity, and it's really important. I sense for us to mention that to people when we talk to people, and they're like, "Oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna, have enough money, or I lost my job," or they're saying, they're afraid they're going to get sick, or that their loved one's going to get sick. It's like really important to help us together to raise that vibration, to let people know this is an opportunity for us to be different.
I'm really glad that you said that. Oh yes, you go.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
That was a huge thing. So this is a Lisa question, but it's for sure, I think everyone. I'm really helpful for people when they reach out to me and ask me for support and positivity and wellness, or anything to do with health, science, or feeling great. But I was asked by a friend, or not asked, a friend shared with me of her concern about family members that are long distance and she can't get to them, and I didn't know how to show up, how to support. And then I felt just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say other than, what do you say? Like, I don't know. So that's why I was going to ask you, what do we do when we are at, like, if this could be a channeled one or from Noemi, you, how do we show up when we don't know how to show up, when we are asked or given the opportunity to show up and we just don't know how? I didn't know how.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's doing that, receiving divine love and sending it to them. I mean, so I'm in Massachusetts, as I mentioned, and my family's in New York, and then just outside of New York City. So that's another hot spot. And, there may be, I may not be able to get to them, and it's a 4-hour drive, but, it may be that we're not even able to drive for significant things that are coming up. A baby and a major birthday, and my parents are elderly, and so concerned about them, and it's like, yes, I realized
the elderly, that's the big one.
Yeah, I realized my sister's going to turn 60 in a couple months, and I might not be able to get down there, and I'm like, oh geez, it was this, we don't know how long this is going to take, and that's surrendering into this, sort of like, this is the new norm for now, not forever, but surrendering into, like, this is the new norm, and I can send them love, and I can encourage them and speak to them. A lot of times people don't really talk much. They text and they, may have a brief conversation, but this is an opportunity to have more in-depth conversations with people when you can't see them.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess maybe a good question would be is how can we, if this would maybe for a source there, is how can we keep that fear in check? Like just say, okay, it's coming up. I want to get to them. I want to be able to help them, support them, offer them this, but I don't have enough money. I can't give this to some. Like how to keep that just fear in check, I guess, is the question.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I think some of that was covered, but we can certainly ask for more of that because, in terms of, maybe, was it in my reading or did I might not have read, I didn't read the entire message that I received from the divine, but at one point there was that divine love is the antithesis and the antidote to fear. I don't think I read that piece, but it's the...
Yes, because antidote came up, yes.
Yes, so the antithesis and the antidote to fear is divine love, and there's
trust and faith.
Yes, we learned in A Course in Miracles, and there's two sources, love and fear, and so recognizing, I'm in the fear. We're human. We're programmed to experience fear. I mean, there's a neuroscience of fear that we're programmed. I mean, our brains are programmed for that, and so recognizing that and taking the time to shift, taking that time to get into the stillness and receive love. And if you feel like you can't even do that because the chatter is too strong, or even monkey mind, ask, Divine, help me to be still and receive your love. I have asked similar things like, yes, help me to be still and receive. And I have asked that when I've been caught up, and it's amazing how all of a sudden you can feel that peace.
I like that. Because sometimes we're telling people just be still and then off you go. And but you're right. It's like, well, wait a second. I can't. Like finding it hard to get to the still part because you're so frenzied. Oh, I like that. Ask for help. Help me to be still and receive.
Yeah, and it's so. Because we don't have to, we're so used to feeling like we have to be the ones to do stuff. And we have to be the ones to do everything. And we have to be the one to get out of fear, and we have to be the one to rise up, and we have to do. And it's like sometimes, the divine is there as our support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aw. Oh, there's so much. I feel so calm. I think this is the calmest I've ever felt during a show.
Wow. Yeah. So we could just go and see if there's anything else the divine would like us to know. And I'm just going to take a swig of water here because I forgot to do so in commercial.
Water's been a big thing for me. Yes.
Yes. And that was, one thing that I was appreciating is water. That, other times when we've had to go shopping and stock up, it's been because there's going to be a massive snowstorm or a hurricane or something. And, what if you might not get water, so you have to stock up on water, and it's like, water's available. Yeah, water's available. I don't have to worry about water. And I don't have to worry about making sure I have plenty of firewood in case I lose electric, and so it's like there's
utilities are here.
Yeah, there are things that when we have these natural storms and stuff that because you are in the cold, you're in the really far north, and I'm in the north, and we have these events that we have to stock up for, but this is so different, So let's see what else the divine wants to say. Yeah. Okay. Here we are again, divine. Haven't gone anywhere, and we know you haven't. Just what else can you offer us today so that we can, to help us make this shift, this transition, this awakening, this opportunity? You said there's an opportunity for awakening, and so to make this awakening, to make this shift, and to be still, to be able to step out of the fear into love. And so whatever or whatever you want to tell us. We're open. We're not attached to the question. How's that? Okay. We're grateful again for this opportunity and for your willingness to receive what we have to say without attaching a question to it of a specific type or a specific situation, but being willing to receive and hear what your source, your divine source, are saying to you, because this is so important. This time is important. Some of you have lived long lives. Some of you have lived not many years. But this is a profoundly important time in your life. This may be the most important time of your lives. What is happening on this planet, on your planet now, in this moment, at this time, in this juncture, this may be, for many of you, this will be the most profoundly important time if you make this shift. And we see more and more of you making this shift, recognizing, this is not something to engage in victim consciousness. Who created this virus? Why are we sick? Why are they sick? Why, who, what? No, it's not for that. It is time to let the victim consciousness and the victim mindset, the victim mind, be quiet. There is no victimization happening. You are not victims of this disease or this financial situation. It is time to recognize your unlimitedness. There is an unlimited nature inside of you, and you have lived so limitedly, and you have relied on structures and infrastructures to support you that may or may not be fully supporting you anymore for now, and that may transition and look differently in the future. This is the time where collectively, individually, and collectively, transformation is possible. Individually, to see the opportunity to awaken as individuals, and collectively to transform into a society that cares about each other, where it isn't who can I step on top of, and who you can step on top of, and who you can climb over to get what you want. This lack mentality, this limited mindset that there is not enough, so I need to take mine. I need to make sure I get my own. All of that, we say to you, it is time to leave that behind, because there is so much. And there is even the healing of this situation you are on the cusp of it. It is so close. From our perspective, it is so close and could happen in an instant from our perspective. And you understand the time for us is different than it is for you. But you are close to the healing. You are close to so much. And as a collective society, you can transform. You can change the rules of your society if you band together for the greater good, rather than for the whole, rather than that individual part. And you, especially in your country, Noemi Grace, where that individualism is where you were founded, where your country was founded, and yours also, Lisa, and many of you, this individualism, supportive individualism. And the individual is important, but the collective is much more important, because together you will transform. The vibration, the capability of the collective is one, of community is one. That capability is profoundly more than one person, and yet one person can have an amazingly deep impact, a profound impact. And so together you can change the world in which you live. And that is why this is, for many of you, the most important time in your life, because everything can be changed in this place. And this illness may choose to linger as long as necessary for this change. We are not saying that will happen. We are saying that you all collectively have a role in the transformation that is going on in your planet and in the duration. This is not an unintelligent organism that is somehow mutated, that has no control, that is not understanding anything. There is so much more to even elementary life forms than you understand. And so we are saying to you that the opportunity is here for so much more than you have ever experienced. And collectively you can achieve this. Collectively you can create this. This is a time for great creativity. We have so much more to say, but we are aware that the time is coming to an end. And we thank you for listening. Namaste. Ooh, yes, the time is coming to an end. Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful. And how gorgeous is this to end with this? We started with our toilet paper story. I'd love to end by saying, people, stock up on love, not toilet paper. Yay!
I love that. Put that out there and put Lisa Berry underneath it. Create a beautiful picture of love. Probably two cats or something.
Yes, hearts and cats on shelves. All right. Yes. That's a great way to adopt them, actually, Noemi. Thanks for that idea. Okay. Aw, well, thank you so much, Noemi. However I can support you, I would love to do that. And I know that you put that offer out to me. And however we can support others listening, we invite you to let us know.
Yes. Thank you all for listening. Such a pleasure to be here with you, always.
Yes. Sending you all prayers. And you're in our prayers. Well, thank you, Noemi. I will see you in 2 weeks' time.
And next week on Facebook Live.
Yes. Actually, see us on Facebook Live. Yes.
And hear us in 2 weeks. Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Lots of love, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.